Okay, so we're continuing our conversation here on the Terahertz Wand, and I'm with Joya. And Joya, we did our first introduction, and you kind of went into some of the details. And we were talking about your friend with the benefits that he's having. Well, first of all, with yourself, which was a great testimonial.
Well, with him, I've got pictures, and I'd like to, with his permission, we'll upload them to you. And like I said, this is just the first weekend. He used it one weekend, or I used it on his foot one weekend, and he's got before and after pictures.
Okay.
So
phenomenal.
I would like to ask him if he'll give me the permission to share that with you, that you could share with others, because I'm firsthand trying this myself. He's been so grateful to help me in ways that no one has in this last several months. So he has been such a benefit to me in my life, and to know this is helping him, I have literally cried because of the miracles I've seen. This wand and the hyperbaric and the nutritional change he's made in his life. To see this difference, when we had those horrible fires this last summer, he wasn't able to get to wound care. It's so many hours away and through these highways that were closed. So he would come over and we would do nutritional smoothies and just simple water, talk to him about diet changes, maybe this intermittent fasting whenever possible, just whatever it is that we can do to change the field. That's
right.
What I work on, creating cells by creating a field that they will replicate in their optimum.
And that's basically exactly what this thing is doing. Is it's recreating a field that allows cells to basically recreate themselves at their optimum level. Is that right?
That is correct. And it's taking all of the effects of these other things that environmentally we're exposed to. Gravity, fields from our electronics, from cell towers, from all kinds of electromagnetic smog, anything you can think of. The Navy did a lot of studies on this way back when with radar operators and what happens to them. And we're seeing the effects throughout our daily health routine, the way we sleep, the direction, the time of day we eat, and the time of day we sleep. It affects every bit of our physiology, our circadian rhythm. These magnetic things that are going on in our solar system right now are affecting our physiology, and we're not addressing these issues. This is something that anyone can use that can address every issue known to the dis-ease of our homeostasis, and actually replicate a field that our bodies were meant to be in to replicate properly.
That's
And so the color of the wand is basically creating oxygen in blue and hydrogen in red, which is creating a field that is the strongest in astrophysics, biophysics, and geophysics. Oxygen and hydrogen are the strongest energy form there is. And that is the field that this terahertz wand is literally creating directly with the light and heat and specifics on frequency generation, that the three different components of the lattice that was created by a field to make everything under that field replicate perfectly. And they use it in all kinds of spectrometry. We use it in security. They're now using it in all forms of biomedical research. It's just phenomenal. But this is something that has been long awaited, and I'm ecstatic that it's available to the public. It's a phenomenal device. The fact that it really cannot harm in any way. They've used it on prenatal and interuteral. It's just phenomenal. I can't say. Even with children that they've detected with spinal bifida and other spinal deformations, that this can literally in utero help recreate the field and basically start to heal before the child is even brought into this world. It is just phenomenal, the amount of technology put into this that can be used in any way, shape, and form.
Right.
And literally, it's neurogenerating. We can use it on the forehead, the temporal lobe here in front, and really create a neurogenius. It is just phenomenal, the field that it creates. I can't say enough about it in a video. There's so much information that can be gleaned from the NIH on this technology. However, I'd like to make myself available to our customers that are interested on a one-on-one basis, for clients that want some help with making the device be more useful throughout the family, depending on whatever condition or lack of condition. This is just something that can keep the body in its best energetic form.
Right.
To keep us, our immune system stimulated in all of this nonsense that's going on around us in this world. So it's really a protection. Some of the information I gleaned from some of the videos out there show that people use it in their mouths, and especially mucous membranes, when you've come in from outside and been exposed to different pathogens. So it's a great on-hands device because you can take it with you. You can do your car handles, you can do your mouth, your steering wheel, anything that you touch can be decontaminated with this device as well. So
it's amazing.
It's phenomenal.
It is. So I know we talked about this before, but I've set up another video. But basically, the blue light, and I'm just going to turn this thing on again real quick. But the blue light, and it's medium and then low. But that blue light that it's throwing off is basically able to penetrate through clothing. It's basically going to go through. They're using it obviously for X-rays for.
It's incredible. They can distinguish tissue cell cultures by just shining the light on them and see the malformed tissue and organelles in the blood. And it's just with the use of this frequency, they can see things they've never seen before. They use it in technical things to see if there's cracks in metals and what have you, for very technical. And the use of it in microelectronics is going to be phenomenal. And in nanoparticles, this is kind of the scary end of it, but yeah.
Yeah, you
for many things.
You said that basically all the cells in the human body run at a terahertz frequency. Is that right?
They resonate specifically at a frequency. I think it's 365 to 385 is the ATP receptor in the mitochondria, and that's the exact level that this infrared or hydrogen based, pH is possible hydrogen. Everything is based on hydrogen in our cells and oxygen, the way they bind. And so with the red and the blue light, they're binding oxygen and hydrogen specifically at angles that are promoting cellular health, and they eliminate anything that isn't a proper structure, and it just reorganizes into the proper structure. That's what it's actually doing, is taking these colloids that are misorganized, and it depletes their field and recreates the proper field so they can be used as a powerhouse and actually energize the cell from the waste products. It's just phenomenal.
Right.
It's literally alchemical transmutation of elements in the physiology due to the light recreating that element in the physiology.
Basically alchemy, right? I mean, it's like modern day alchemy.
That's it. It's transmutation, biological transmutation of one element into the other.
And so this thing, what happens to the bad cells? Now we've talked
They're
for
just
hours.
basically reorganized and reused. They're whatever is a waste product is transmuted through the tissue because of the electromagnetic field, and it's like what we sweat in our lymph system will turn out of the body if it's harmful, and it can restructure anything that's non-harmful back into an energetic material, a minera, that can be reprocessed, and the cell can live off of it again and recreate this through the red blood cells. It's
right.
Just phenomenal what it does. Under the microscope, you can actually see this. Most of what I've read to you, again, comes from David Jubbs and the work that they have done.
And once again, now because this it's a second video, but you've personally used it. You've personally had your own testimonial. Can you just run through that again, just real quick?
Well, basically, it has removed all of the swelling from the tissues, and it allows the healing and regeneration to begin when we remove the extracellular tissues that aren't proper, that can't be used. That is turned into a waste product, and what's usable is turned into a new cell, literally transforming the cell with the light and frequency of the wand.
Okay, but
so it's basically creating a perfect field, a reticular magnetic field that alkalines the tissue and the blood that it touches.
Can I translate that into Sean technology? You basically had like a lot of, you were in a car accident, right?
I was in a car accident. We spun out. I had.
You were in a lot of. Yeah. Without going.
Spinal fluid was edemaed out of the column. The nerves were severed. I mean, just things that they couldn't believe I'm walking. The doctor that I went to still won't touch me because he's afraid that I'll be paralyzed if he touches me. And he's one of the great osteosurgeons in the country. So I had him look at my MRIs. I have copies of like my neck and my back, and I can't wait to have more pictures done in the next 90 days after the use of it. I believe that this can restructure every cell in my body within 90 days. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So I'd really like to find the time to get on a real schedule to use it and then get a clinical MRI to back up the results, because like I said, other than the red bed, which is basically a tanning bed with the same pink light, that's the only treatment I had, and I did that for maybe 6 weeks through the summer, where I was able, again, it takes the swelling out of tissues. So that's what this Terahertz wand is, specific to the area. You can go specific to the area. It works on the whole body. Even my friend that we used it on his foot, he's noticed that through these treatments, he's expelling more liquids and things that are the toxins. So we're seeing real physiological results from just a short period. I'll say that I maybe used this device on him for a total of a half hour in 2 days intermittently.
And so I know you were in a lot of pain when you first got this, and you've had it now for about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks max. But let's talk real quick again about the pain issues.
For people in pain, this is the most incredible thing. I was in many years ago, another traumatic accident where my neck and back was broken. Never really been treated, many tests done. So living with that, and then on top of this car accident, this is the only thing I have seen results since 2001 when the original injury occurred. This is phenomenal. Nothing like this. I was on Norcos for years for the pain, 8 a day.
And so,
due to my, lovely abilities of, making those in power angry, I was cut off completely, cold turkey from all meds. And I used specific enzymes and cheeses that hit our opiate receptors, and I never had withdrawal symptoms. So I've used nutrition and light for years. This is the equivalent of the 8 Norcos a day.
And how much time? Right. So how much time are you using it to get the results that you've gotten? Like, how people would say.
I explained to you, because of my hands and having these issues, that 10 minutes at a time to 12 minutes at a time is the max I've been able, to hold the device and use it consistently. And I use that timing intermittently through the day whenever I felt the pain, and it would immediately go away. So it was just kind of as I needed it, and it's like I said, I have noticed a difference just by the things I'm able to do. I noticed with the new puppy, I'm bending over and picking up little things off of the floor, little scraps, something he chewed, paper, what have you. And I was never able to do that before. I could barely use the vacuum. It hurts so bad.
Right.
And now I'm just doing things that I like. This last week I'd never done before. And my friend here says that he can see a difference in me. I can't really, but he says he's seen a difference, and I see a difference in the skin texture and the one tumor under my eye that's gone, and like a beauty spot or a mole that used to be dark is now light. So I see the difference that it's actually creating in the skin tone, texture, and color. But the swelling that's left my cranium from that injury and my eyes is phenomenal. That wand has taken all the swelling out of my upper sinus and my eyes and my whole temporal lobe, and literally I'm thinking clear. I believe it is creating neurons, and there's some neurogenesis going on. I have the energy level. I think I talked to you about this when I first talked to you. I didn't have the energy I have now. I have more energy just in using this wand several times for the pain, just because it's recreating this wonderful field within all the cells of my physiology. It's making everything work faster and better. Literally, I believe it's going to increase the spin or the replication of the DNA. Like, we only have so many pairs of DNA per twist in the helix, and say when we're born, I think we have like 56 pairs, and by the time we're 50 we're down to like 6 pairs. So this is actually, I believe, recreating a faster spin in the cell oscillation and recreating DNA at an alarming rate over the natural that you would have after an injury.
Yeah, so the amount of uses that this thing has is unbelievable. Now, I think I want to just say a couple quick things, and I'm going to shut this down, and we're going to start another video on another subject. But the one thing I really like about this, because we do a lot with med beds, med bed technology, med bed, which gets into a whole nother genre of stuff that we'll break out later, because you're an expert in that, which is the plasma technology. But for a unit that's handheld, that's, in my opinion, very inexpensive and very easy to get your hands on, on a 1 to 10, where would you put this?
10.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. Like I said, I've been in this field. Like I said, I started taking tumors out of rats 50 years ago. So living in certain areas where cancers are prone, this is going to do the opposite of what the effect of cancer. Cancer is slow and cold, and basically the cell oscillates at 1,500 angstroms to 6,500 angstroms, which is very slow and cold, and the electron spin is the opposite. So what the terahertz wand does is immediately spin the electron in the opposite direction, or the field of this electromagnetism in the opposite direction, alkalining the cell's tissue, the blood, and its ability to replicate and use the Monera, these colloids that were harmful, and basically reprogram them to be helpful, all through the frequency that's generated through the wand.
It's really unbelievable. I'm super happy. Number one, I'm super happy that we've got this technology available, but I'm really happy that I was able to get it in your hands, because
it's a miracle, Sean. This is the greatest gift in the 20-some years since the original injury. It's the first time, I have to say this, for a year I haven't been able to hold my head up. Literally, I have to lay down at least 12 hours in the day. I couldn't hold my head up. And to be able to cook for myself, clean and all that, that was kind of like, well, maybe I'll do dishes once a day instead of after every meal. Maybe I'll change the way I eat to once a day, every other day, and maybe twice a day if I have a leftover. And I really changed my lifestyle to adapt to this pain and inability in my physiology to just do everyday tasks. Within the last 2 weeks, my modalities have, I'm going to say, quadrupled.